Light warrior, have I told you I love you? I love you. We're like perfect strangers, right? Most of us anyway. Some of you know me from my everyday life, but I connect with thousands upon thousands of people, and we've never met. And I love you. And I'm here to tell you that. I was guided, motivated to make this message on the dark night of the soul. It's important to understand this. I said that I'm going to get you all to and through the event. And I'm out here on the front line to serve each and every one of you. I am a common, everyday life person, just like you. We're all the same. We're out here to discuss the dark night of the soul, and we're out here to pick up our brothers and sisters and get them all through the global reset. Hello everyone, I am Michael, and I help guide people on their evolutionary journey. The dark night of the soul. I've spoken about this with all of you several times. The dark night of the soul. This is something that the collective is all going through right now. And I'm out here bringing the light, bringing the energy to all of you to help get you through this time period. Now, the dark night of the soul happens as a period of time that a person might go through, and they are experiencing deep, severe depression. So what is depressed? The urge or the need for the body for deep rest. Depressed. The soul is getting tired of operating the body. We're in this dense realm and we're operating the body. And the soul gets tired of operating the body. That's what depressed means. Deep rest. That's what the body requires. So, right now, the collective is going through another dark night of the soul. So, you can experience the dark night of the soul many times on your awakening journey. And it's important to know that this is very natural, that you're going to go through this time period. So, we all have an ego that helps us navigate this dimension. And the ego serves an important purpose. It keeps us safe during our journey. But the ego sometimes, it starts to act out. And that's what really you are experiencing during the dark night of the soul. So we might want things to happen a certain way. And the ego is telling us that we want it a certain way and we get tired. The soul also gets tired. So the dark night of the soul can manifest many different ways. So I'm really here today to talk about what we're going through right now. If you're interested in the dark night of the soul, please go on the channel page and look at my other videos about the dark night of the soul. And I will pin it at the pinned comment so you could easily access that link. Right now, the collective is going through a dark night of the soul because it seems like everything is being dragged out further, and we're getting tired. And the soul says, how much longer? And the ego says, how much longer? I wanted it to happen now, the ego says. And the soul says, I'm getting tired of this existence on this prison planet. When will this matrix collapse? So right now, you are actually having, that's why it's pretty severe, you're having both the spirit and the ego. We talked about balancing the spirit and the ego. The spirit and the ego are both having a hard time right now. But we're out here to understand that there is a divine plan in place. And it might not be working out right now the way that you expected it to work out. So sometimes when it comes to that case, we need to put the ego on the side. Okay, it didn't work out the way that we wanted it or expected it to work out. That's the ego. Then the soul says, I'm here, and I'm here to experience the life that I want to experience. And we're still not able to experience it, right? I have incarnated in the belly of the beast, dear ones. It's not free where I am. Some of you, our messages are global. Every area around the world is having a different experience right now. So it is hard where I am, and it might be hard where you are. There's a lot of tyranny, and we're not free right now. So now we're in a time period of uncertainty. The soul is tired, and the ego is tired. And we want change. What is change? Energy is the ability to cause change. And we can detect energy's presence by noticing the change. It's good, right? So it's going to take energy to cause change. We are the ones to bring that energy. So even myself right now, I feel this dark night of the soul. And it's happened several times since the event has officially started. We could call 2020 the official start of the event. We need to have resiliency. I feel this depression, and this part of the message is also for the empaths. The energy is dense right now. The collective, many of our awakened brothers and sisters are putting out this energy, right? So you might be pulling in this energy of depression. It might not even be yours. It could be yours as well. So since this has all started on my journey, I know people that have taken their lives, and in this past week, many of you have wrote to me that you know people that have taken their lives in this past week. I am out here, we are out here to help our brothers and sisters hang on. Hang on for just one more day. Don't you want to see this event play out? So I was motivated to make this message on the dark night of the soul when you all reached out to me telling me that you know people personally that have taken their lives. That's why I'm out here. That's why we're all doing this, because we are a family. Even though we may not know each other personally, but we all have our trials and tribulations. We all have our kenshos, and we all have our dark night of the soul, and we can feel it a different way. There's many people that are suffering at this time, and it's important that we know that this dark night of the soul, it passes. Think about it, light warriors. You have survived 100% of the worst days of your life, you are still here, light warriors, and I'm still standing as well. I feel it just like all of you feel it. It gets rough. You could get tired, and you want things to change. So during this dense energy, you might feel the dark night of the soul personally. And I'm here to shine a light on that. Your trials and tribulations might be different than mine, than your friends, than your family members. So, for example, I would like the world to change and everything to be opened up so that maybe things would change for my personal life. On my journey, and I've shared this with you many times, I deal with loneliness. Now, it feels good to swing by and see your family, see your parents, to see your brothers and sisters, but sometimes when you go home at night, it would be nice to not have to come home alone every night, day after day, month after month. And we're in a time period right now of uncertainty. We're stagnant this year. Everything is kind of stagnant. And we want everything to open up. And when everything is opened up, we can all be together again. So it's a hard time period. Maybe you deal with loneliness. Maybe that is where your dark night of the soul comes from. Maybe it comes from finances. Maybe it comes from family members. Maybe it comes from people that are turning their backs on you and you feel lonely because of that. Many of you have wrote to me about that. Remember, light warriors, we're learning this reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So maybe those people that you grew up with, they ain't your people, kid. We're connecting with our authentic brothers and sisters during the global resets. So you ain't lost nothing, light warrior. Many of you have wrote to me about that, right? So you might have family members that don't see. They're on a different vibration. And you have sadness in your heart because you might have been stuck in a relationship or have a parent, or maybe you have kids that have turned their back on you. This dark night of the soul can come in many different forms. So I can only share my experience, and I could share what my brothers and sisters have shared to me. So it's important to understand this time period. I'm out here to tell you that I love you. Perfect strangers, right? And yes, light warrior, it would be good when we have the real people next to us. The dark night of the soul is very natural. You will go through this dark night of the soul, and you will probably go through it many times. Because the collective is going through the dark night of the soul, maybe many people for the first time, it could be rough. So I'm out here giving you this energy at this special spot I just made. The tide was low enough so I could fit here, right? I'm bringing you this energy. Hang on, kid. The army is already here. We have already won. It's just about becoming conscious of it. Take the time to do everything that we discussed. Ground yourself, get yourself in nature, monitor your food, monitor the water that you intake. Remember that you are a vibrational being, and it's important that you do all these things that we spoke about. There's only so much that I could get in this video, otherwise we'll make it an hour long. But take the time to go on the channel page and take the time to understand that all of these things will help you and manage this time period known as the dark night of the soul. It happens, and it's happening now throughout the collective. So when I see it, and I know people from my journey, and I hear what you wrote to me, my brothers and sisters, I am the defender of our everyday lives. This matrix is about to fall. They are using spells. They are casting spells to create an illusion. And we are losing our brothers and sisters because of this illusion. This illusion ends now. And a brighter day and a brighter future will come for all people. But it must come authentically through the people. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people. And please share with one other person, because if we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. I'm shining some light on the dark night of the soul. You are all my family, and I'm going to get you all to and through the event. Remember, we cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious of the dark night of the soul. You're going to make it, kid. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. We are the 144,000 warriors of the rainbow. It is time to take back our everyday lives. It's important to know that we all go through this time period. We are all having a unique experience on our journey. But the energy is here. The energy is real. Especially you, my fellow empaths. You are tapping into the energy of the collective. So it might not even be your feeling of depression. It could be amplified by the collective. Ground yourself, and I'm out here to share this energy update with all of you. Take the time to ground. Get out in the sun. Get out in nature. It's time for this matrix to collapse. I am the defender of our everyday lives. Victory of the light. Share with your brothers and sisters. Everyone is going through this. We're all in this together. I'm bringing you this energy now. These are psychological attacks on our people. And I am here, and so are you, warriors of the rainbow, to put an end to this darkness that attacks the mental health of our people. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people will come onto the earth from many colors, classes, creeds, and whom by their actions and deeds will make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. And I got that cool sailboat in there, right? Take the time to laugh, kid.